Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the Art Podcast series here on YouTube. And today we'll be talking about how to make instant. I'm not sure how to title this video, but I want to talk about how you can, or how to make progress, maybe not automatically, but inevitably. Basically, there is a lazy man's approach to this sort of issue. And oh shit, I don't have a color wheel. There you go. By the way, I'm trying to find a proper setup for my Clip Studio Paint to kind of make more space for the canvas instead of all of this extra stuff on the side. But anyway, the secret, I guess, or the lazy man's secret to making progress. And once you hear this advice or this concept, there's pretty much no going back because it's so simple. You'll almost be frustrated that you haven't really invested in this sort of thing. And even sometimes, as much as I know this, I do forget what this thing is. I'm trying to milk and kind of postpone the whole secret thing, but it's basically this. The best way to make progress without really thinking about making progress, where it just kind of happens automatically, in a way, or instantly, but definitely inevitably, is, let me just write it down. Yes. Okay, you can't hear this, but I think my music just stopped. Yes. So anyway, this is the secret to progress. Once you have enough momentum, progress is inevitable. Am I saying it right? Is that the right spelling? When it comes to momentum, you have to do two things. Number one, you have to build it. Because chances are right now, I'm assuming 99.9% of you don't have any momentum. Now for me, unlike you, I actually have some kind of momentum because, having a social media platform, I think it kind of forces you to be a bit more active. So maybe we can tackle that or talk about that later. But number one, to actually have momentum, you actually have to start and build something. And the second, which is even more important, is maintaining momentum. And this is obviously the longer part, the harder part. This one, once something is started, you just have to basically maintain the thing you've started or built, right? And for example, for this channel, even though I don't always know what to do, for example, for this podcast, I already have that momentum, right? So it was easy for me to just sort of go along and I'm not explaining this right, but once you have something built or started and you just have to maintain it, you don't really have to be deliberate as much. Now, yes, you can be if you want to. I mean, that's good, to be the reflective kind of person. But again, we're not always going to be 100% there, and sometimes we're just lazy. Even if we love art, even if you're passionate about this thing, you're not always going to feel so into it, 100% of the time. I mean, definitely you want to have a baseline interest in that subject, but to expect that you're always kind of smiling as you're doing it, I mean, it's such cope and cap, and it's just not real, I mean, we can fantasize about the lifestyle and, but we have to be a bit more down to earth, realistic, and yeah. So the point is, I had a point. Momentum. What about momentum? Yeah, once you have momentum, I think this is the major part. Again, we're not trying to think of ways to make progress because, again, we're trying to focus on the fact that progress in this approach is really just automatic. Like you don't even have to think about it. So the issue here is how to build and maintain uh, that momentum. Now, obviously, you need to know what to do or what exactly are you trying to make progress on. So you do have to think of the end in mind, right? Now, for me, I'm doing two things. Number one is YouTube. And maybe for you, it's not YouTube, maybe it's Instagram or Kara or ArtStation. Hopefully, you're posting your artwork somewhere or some kind of content. For me, in my case, it's going to be YouTube. So that's one. But also, I want to improve and make progress in my artwork. So pick your art form, whether 2D, 3D, whether it's drawing, painting, whatever. So you definitely need to know what exactly are you trying to make progress on. So think of the end in mind. And once you have that, you have to think of ways to sort of just stay in the game. And for me, I found, I did take note of it. I think I have three things that I think if you do these three things, it's going to be easier to be consistent in this momentum, because that's also another thing with momentum, or another way of saying it is consistency, right? So how do you build this momentum, right? Number one is to do what's easy. And I know the advice is if you're trying to learn, you want to challenge yourself and stuff like that. But I think that's a bad approach. I think you have to do what's easy. And for example, right now, what exactly am I drawing or painting? No idea. But the point is, even if I don't know what's happening right now, I'm still number one making a video. So I have that check. But I'm also painting. Again, I'm not trying to purposely progress. Even though I have progress in mind, I am not trying to make progress as I'm having fun, doodling, and just it almost feels like I'm wasting time, but I'm actually not, because I'm staying where I'm building and maintaining my momentum. Because as I do this, eventually, I'll figure out which strokes to make, which strokes feel natural, what kind of forms I typically like. Like I gain so much from this process automatically just by staying in the game. So the first step, I guess, to do this sort of thing, to maintain your momentum, is to do what's fun. So for you, it could be kind of like this. If you're trying to improve your painting skills, just painting something, doodling something, even if it doesn't make sense, just doing that. Because if you can always improve as you go and make slight adjustments here and there, but you can only do that if you already have like a system in place, like a routine. So I guess that's also another way of referring to this momentum. It's routine. You need to have some kind of system. That's a slash, by the way, system, right? Because once all of this is in check, progress is just pretty much automatic. Like over time, you're going to gain something. Now I know it seems like it doesn't seem as logical. Like we have a habit, or we have a tendency to want to know the steps to achieve something. I mean, I get it. We want clarity on certain issues, and it just helps to have some kind of guidance. But this is my guidance. You are going to make progress. And maybe there's a bit of faith involved here. But I guess the best kind of faith to have is experience. If you've ever stuck to something, even for example, it could be any kind of habit. Let's say you're training, working out. There used to be a certain weight that you could not lift, but eventually over time, you didn't even try to like lift heavy. You just sort of made progress as you go. And before that, you just kind of stuck to your like daily, a weekly schedule of working out. And eventually you were able to lift that kind of weight, or lift your body, do a certain number of pull-ups or push-ups, right? So yeah, you can do that if you just stick to a system, but it has to be fun. You're not going to be consistent. You're not going to maintain momentum if you're not having fun. If you have to constantly think about, oh shit, like if you have to analyze everything, it's over at that point. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but again, if you're lazy like me, then we're going to have to this is the way you have to do this sort of thing. You can't be, because that's often the issue anyway. You're so like involved, and you're doing the whole analysis paralysis thing where you overanalyze to the point where you don't even where you're basically paralyzed. You're not doing shit anymore. So that's not the way to go. Again, we're trying to approach or do the lazy man's approach to make progress without intention, without really trying to make progress via momentum, via just sticking to whatever routine and system you have. So number one is to have fun. Let me just write it down because right here, fun. Have fun. Let me extend my canvas a bit to the side. Ooh, there you go. So again, you want to make it like this where, oh shit, wrong brush. I want the flat one because it's fun to use. Again, this could also mean the type of brushes you use or the program you're using. Maybe it's a tablet you're using, or maybe it's whatever, or maybe you like to do art in your bed, or maybe in your home office, or maybe outside in Starbucks or something, or in a park. Whatever's fun, you have to do that, because if you don't have fun, if there's no bit of enjoyment, you're not gonna make it. And don't try to think about momentum if you can't even understand what fun is, right? Because if you're going to do this forever, you have to have some kind of fun. If you're not having fun, then what's the point, right? So for example, for me, just to kind of talk about it a little more, I like flat brushes because it seems it looks cool, and you can actually see me kind of rotate the brush. And the reason why I like doing that is because I like doing that. It makes me feel good whenever I do the strokes in certain angles. Maybe there's a pen that's more where I can do this easier, but I do the whole rotating thing manually via shortcuts. But the point is, the reason why it's easy for me to kind of just paint these sorts of things is because I'm having fun with the process. I'm not trying to be super like design oriented. I'm just having fun, and the reason why I'm using Clip Studio Paint, the reason why it's way faster than Photoshop often. I like the brush settings, and I also like the brushes that I use. And right now I'm listening to a basic kind of background music. It's the one I often use in my videos as of this recording. It's The Faithful Mission. I forgot the artist, but I usually link it in the description below. And I feel good, and the reason why I'm consistent is because I feel good, and I'm having fun with this whole thing. So the number two thing, advice would have to be, oh shit, I think I mixed both. My bad. I was kind of I basically combined both. Number one was actually, if I may, number one was easy. Do what's easy, right? So for me, easy is sort of this thing, doodling. Do what, if you have to do a lot just to stay in the game. If you have so many like steps to take, you're just going to slow down. You want to avoid friction as much as possible. Aim for things to be smooth, right? If you're thinking too much, if there's so many things you have to do just to get to a certain place, if it's hard, then you're doing it wrong. Number two is fun. So there has to be a form of enjoyment that's happening. Whether it be, if you like drawing like chicks, then don't fight it. Just own up. Oh shit, I'm kind of a degenerate. Oh, there's no, even if you just, this isn't the time to judge yourself. I think this is the time to do what's easy for you and to do what is fun, right? The number three, third advice and last advice is to not care. Now, I know this is something, art is something we're passionate about and stuff like that, but if you're trying to make progress the lazy man's way, again, if you're the like a top kind of person, you're very kind of meticulous and you're just really serious about this sort of thing, then maybe this whole video is probably not for you anyway, and you're probably not listening. But chances are you're kind of the lazy, you're not like you feel like you are an artist, right? But sometimes you're just like, what the fuck? Like, why am I wasting time? Why am I procrastinating? Like, oh shit, like why am I not making progress? If you're that kind of person, number 3 is something you're going to enjoy even more, right? Not caring. And I think this contributes to the whole analysis paralysis. Like, we care so much about the result that we end up not doing anything. And I think there's a term for this, or a more scientific, I guess, a more established professional term. I think it's outcome. Let me write it down. Outcome independence. Basically, you want to independence. Basically, you want to be independent of your outcomes. So whatever happens, whatever the result is, it is what it is. And I think that that's a more common, more understandable saying. It is what it is. Whatever comes out of it, it's just the way it is. Like, don't fight it, just accept what comes out. Whatever outcome you see or results happen, be independent of that. Don't depend on the results. If you're basing your entire motivation and stuff like that on the results, then you're not going to be able to do this long term. And if you're not going to be able to do this long term, basically like maintaining momentum, being consistent, progress is going to be out of your reach, right? So as much as we love and appreciate and we're passionate about this thing, you have to not care to some extent. And I think specifically on the results. So it's kind of the whole having that process-oriented mindset. I mean, we've heard of this from other artists, right? Bigger YouTubers, more experienced, like professionals. But I think this is a different way of, I'm just expanding on that idea a bit. If you don't care too much about something, then you're more likely to do it because you're not afraid of making mistakes. And the reason why you're not afraid of making those mistakes is because there's nothing at stake. So you're not panicking on the inside. So if you're the type of person who's kind of panicky, kind of anxious, and again, kind of just lazy, and maybe you doubt yourself often or something, maybe you have imposter syndrome, then I think this is the way to go, to not care so much. Now, I'm not saying this is permanent. This is, again, more of a lazy man's approach to making progress. And because you don't really have to think as much, and you're kind of just, this whole thing is basically just sticking to something, even if it sucks, even if it's not going, or if it feels like you're not going anywhere. The point is to just stick to something. For example, for the past few days, I've been focusing more on doing these sorts of videos where it's just me talking. I mean, I still like doing the art reviews and all, and I want to do other kinds of videos like tutorials and stuff like that. But I've learned much, or I've learned quite a few things just by sticking through to this schedule of every day trying to do like one of these videos where it's just me talking about something while drawing. And I don't always have to draw in the background, but the point is I was able to make progress in a sense, right? Because after doing a bunch of these videos, you kind of know what your actual pace is. For example, in the last video, the video before the last one, I think I was trying to Like I couldn't talk as much. And the reason why is because I started drawing, with a pen or pencil. And I realized that I tend to think when I focus on line work. Unlike what I'm doing now, when I'm painting with like big brush strokes, I get to be more like loose and expressive, and it feels more like an actual doodle because I'm kind of all over the place, and often the things that I make don't even make sense. But the reason why I can talk a bit more and explain my thoughts more is because I'm not thinking too much about the drawing. It feels like more of a shading rendering practice when I use this kind of approach. And that's something I realized by just sticking to this making videos thing, right? And also, I've done some edits before where I record the video and then I do like the voiceover after, and I realized that does take a lot of time. But also, I feel like I don't really express myself as much. I mean, I do want to be able to like properly edit my videos for certain videos anyway. But I figured out that I do tend to be more expressive and more me when I'm just being raw and real. And for example, scripting videos, I've never done scripts. It's just not for me. And by doing this kind of YouTube thing, you realize, oh shit, I really am not that kind of person. That's super well prepared. I tend to do better when I'm just raw. Ooh. And I mean, look at this. Like, what am I doing? It feels like it's nothing, but there is something to be gained here, right? Let me just have a sip of coffee because I'm kind of thirsty. So yeah, I guess that's basically it. Let me draw something a bit. Oh shit, should I make something deliberate? Because I want to make art and show you something that's a bit more hot. Let me do one more, and we'll expand on this topic of maintaining momentum, right? With the aim, the end result being progress. So if you want to make progress again, I think it's too short. Don't just stick to your habits or your systems or your routines. And I talked about these three things. Make sure it's easy, make sure it's fun, make sure you don't care so much. And I think that's it's really helpful if you're just not feeling it, because there are days where you're just not there and you don't feel like, doing anything. And sometimes you feel bad, like, oh shit, like, do I really deserve to be good in this sort of thing if I don't feel like it? I think that's a bad approach because it's not realistic. You're not always going to be 100%. You're not always going to be in your game, right? So by having the lazy man's approach to this sort of thing, to making progress, I think it's going to be a bit more sustainable for you, because all you have to do is think, oh, especially if you're if a lot of things are happening, all you have to do or think in the back of your mind is, I just have to stick to doing this one thing, even if it's like, ugh, even if it sucks, or even if I don't feel like I'm making much progress, I have to stick to this thing and maintain momentum, right? Forget about progress because it's automatic anyway if you stick to something long enough. By being consistent, by maintaining that momentum. So that should be your goal, basically, is to maintain momentum. If you don't have momentum, you have to build it. And you do that by simply starting. So maybe you're trying to do YouTube. You want to record your videos. Because I've seen a comment saying like, oh, like, how do I do my videos? Maybe I'll do a video on like my recording process, but it's very raw. I used to do, again, lots of edits, but I basically just use Bandicam and I record things raw. I don't do like voiceovers after the recording. It's all, I'm drawing and painting at the same time. And I don't even do cuts. I just fix the audio a bit, do some post-processing, but no cuts. I do some fixing with the video file, but I'm not like for the coding or something, or codec file something, just to make it more easier for YouTube. But that's it. I don't do cuts. I don't do voiceovers after. I do everything on the spot, in real time. And you can start there if you're trying to start a channel or do some videos. Just be raw and don't waste so much time with the editing. Because I've seen so many channels out there, really big. Like some of these channels have like 1 million views, or sorry, 1 million followers or subscribers on YouTube. And sometimes they don't even talk in their videos. It's just them drawing. Now I have noticed they do cut a bit, and oftentimes their videos last like I mean it's basically in real time, but they do like cut. You can see cuts in their videos, but sometimes they don't even talk, but they still have like a big huge following. And a lot of their videos have the same vibe. It's them like drawing faces of pretty women, practicing noses or any kind of facial features, or practicing anatomy, practicing clothing. It's very repetitive, but you can tell the momentum is there. And because of that momentum, their followers are up, their subscribers are up, their views are up. And obviously you can tell just by looking at their past videos, their skills are up as well. All because they stuck to that one thing, right? Or whatever their thing is. So again, I think the main takeaway here is to stick to the thing you're trying to improve on. Even if you don't feel like you're improving, you're going to eventually improve. And even if you don't trust me, if you do this, you're going to feel bad for distrusting me, because it's real. This thing of just sticking to something is very, very, very real. And you're going to miss out if you're not practicing or applying this thing. By the way, the reason why I'm trying to paint something now that's a bit more acceptable for public consumption is because I need something for the thumbnail, you know? So I'm trying to do a few things at once. I mean, I do know, because a guy mentioned, oh, multitasking is kind of inefficient. I mean, I do get it, but I do know that creating a thumbnail art just like separate, it just feels like extra effort. And again, I am a lazy kind of person, so how can I stick to something with not much effort, right? And I think this is the way to go. Do what's easy, do what's fun, and don't care so much. Now, I know it feels like, oh shit, like this is such horrifying advice. Like, you're not going to make progress this way. Oh, really? We'll see. I mean, am I not living proof of this? Just by sticking to something, you'll figure out. For example, another example would have to be, I mean, as much as I like painting this way, I think I dabbled a bit in the last art podcast episode on, I think the episode title was Strengths versus Weaknesses. So I was basically doing this like breakdown and study, and I used the lasso fill tool in Clip Studio Paint. And I realized just by doing that quick study or quick breakdown that I actually like using lasso fill. It's a great way to add details quickly, and it feels very painterly to me, where I can use big strokes. Now, the lasso fill is not exactly a pen, it's not exactly a big brush, but you can kind of do really small details, but at the same time use really big. For example, let me just try using it right now. Right? Let's use one with some opacity, because my painting here has some opacity. Right? So I can do really big strokes, kind of like this. So I can fill in big areas, but at the same time I can like do these sorts of like mini smaller things. So it can look kind of messy if you're if you're too fast with it, but I realized that, oh shit, I really like using the lasso fill tool. So that in a way is progress, because in trying to find my style and my workflow you can only really do that if you work on something. And just by doing that session in that art podcast episode, I was able to find out and realize, oh shit, I do like doing this kind of thing. And it feels natural to me. Because as much as I like painting in this way where it's super big, it's kind of hard to do details. And that's something that I kind of want to add to my work, because a lot of my work seems very kind of crazy and it just seems like it's going nowhere. Like a lot of my best work seems accidental, like and not as deliberate. So I was thinking of trying to find a way to add details, and I tried drawing. You'll see this in my past art podcast episode, in one of them anyway. And it just didn't look. I felt I did struggle a bit more, and it felt hard, so it wasn't easy. So finding or being able to use the lasso tool was a way for me to, or realizing that it's easy to use for me anyway. And at the same time, it's you know what? I want to invest in this oh shit. In this drawing right here. Look at that. Even it has a very graphical look, right? Oh shit. Concept art. And yeah, it's easy for me to use and it's fun. I like the way it kind of looks. It reminds me of, I will link this artist. It's a Japanese guy. He does his paintings in Excel, and there's kind of a lasso. His work looks like it was done using a lasso fill tool, but it's so interesting to look at. It's very unique, and I guess I kind of want to I guess I can do that kind of work with this tool, lasso fill tool. See, I can fill in big strokes here. I can erase. Now in this case, I'm just picking the background. I can do this, right? I can erase. I can do this. For example, I don't like this part, right? It can be set in like full opacity or some opacity, right? This one does have some transparency in it. And it's super fun to use. It's easy to use with my Wacom Intuos Pro S, the small one. And it's also easy to use with my bigger screen tablet, the XP Pen 22E Pro. Now the only issue I have with, again, that tablet is the buttons in my pen. I have two pens, like two XP pens. it's breaking down, and one day, hopefully by this year, some company, hopefully if you're listening to me, please send me a tablet and I'll happily review it. And I'll show you how cool that thing is. Hopefully, if your pen actually works. If it sucks, then I'm going to grill you online. But I guess it's also kind of my aim, kind of on the side, just a side note. I want to keep making videos, art videos, until someone sends me one of these review tablets. So that's kind of my aim as well. I know I seem like a poor person or a very peasant kind of approach, but it's fun. For me, having that kind of mentality is fun. And because it's fun, guess what? It's going to be easy for me to be consistent. It's going to be easy for me to maintain momentum. And when I do that, I will automatically or inevitably make progress along the way, right? And I think that's often what's lacking in this community. Yes, it's good to be somewhat serious, because if you're passionate about something, obviously you don't want to fail, you don't want to waste time, you want to succeed in the thing that you love, right? But I think you have to do it. There's sort of I'm not sure what the word is, irony, where you love something so much that you start ruining the thing, and you have to be careful with that. You have to have some kind of not detachment, but a distance, or I'm saying it wrong, some kind of a mindset shift, And I think that mindset shift is doing what's easy, doing what's fun. and sort of being chill about it. Maybe that's a better way or a better word to describe all of these things, or to summarize it anyway, is to just be chill. And the moment you start thinking, oh shit, like, oh, am I gonna make it? The moment you have those thoughts, it's over. Restart, step back, and oh shit, I see a monster head here. Let me just remove this. There you go. Look at how fun it is. If you haven't tried using the lasso fill tool, this is the time. And you'll have fun. Maybe, well, it depends. If you're not having fun with this tool, then you have to find a different tool. You know what I mean? Now, for example, you can see me painting over this thing right now, and like it might feel like I just wasted time. But again, what was the third advice? Let me just flip the canvas here. Right here. Not care. If you start caring, it's over. If you're not comfortable with making mistakes, erasing, removing stuff, then you're just going to panic constantly, and you're not gonna make it, you know. And I think this is mostly a mindset shift. And also I do notice that I tend to gravitate towards these kinds of heads. Right? Wow, nice arrow. And I think it's because of my Evangelion inspiration. I like the anime, or I like the mecha look of it, or how the mecha looks. Right? But again, I'm having fun. And because I'm having fun, I'm going to have a higher success rate in terms of making progress, because I'm going to stick to this thing. If you're not going to be able to stick to it, then progress is like you have to keep starting. And I think that's it just takes too long because it takes a while to get into the groove of things, you know. So you have to make sure that maintaining momentum is one of at least your goals, an essential goal. Because even again, if you're still like stressed out with not making progress, for as long as you're in the game, for as long as you're in the arena, you're going to learn something along the way. So don't pressure yourself too much. Right? Now maybe it might not be helpful because you're already kind of there, and maybe you're thinking too much about making progress, but you have to make this decision eventually. And it's more about a do-it mindset as well, right? Not giving an F kind of attitude. Ooh. Where's the clavicles? Let me just draw the blacks here. Kind of like here. Maybe the arm is somewhere there, right? The shoulder pad is somewhere here. Even though it's messy, I mean, look at that. It has energy, right? Ooh. I know there's something here in the shoulder part. Right, look at how much energy there is in this thing. And I guess it's also a part of having or building momentum. It's going to be messy. And while you're doing that whole momentum thing, sticking to your routine, your habits, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. But it is in those mistakes where you're going to make what? Progress. So that's something to expect from doing this thing. Mistakes. Yeah, I don't like it. And there you go. That's better. Oh, this one is going too far out, I guess. Oh, there you go. Right? It feels like a painting to me. And at the same time, it's easy for me to do. And, again, I'm having fun. Look at that. It's some kind of Evangelion. And I do like how the original painting I had, or doodle sketch, is still kind of there. Like some textures kind of remain. Right? There you go. And I'm not sure. So let me just go back. How long have I been recording? 40 minutes? I think this is a good time to end the video, but let me just a tiny bit more. Let me just fix this arrow. Rice. There you go. There you go. And that's an ugly fucking arrow. Anyway, so maybe the arm is somewhere here, who knows? Right. There you go. Some suggestion of details here and there, right? Some teeth. Oh shit. Oh shit. And yeah. So hopefully this episode helps you in some way. And yeah, if you're just kind of not in the proper headspace, just stick to whatever your chosen habit is or routine. If it's videos, just make a video. And eventually you will learn what works, what doesn't work. And that shift in mindset, I think it helps just simplify your day. Imagine just thinking, oh, I just have to do this thing and I'm out. And you can detach in that kind of way. Right? So it kind of lessens the pressure too. And it's also less stressful. If you're already the anxious kind of artist, then I don't think employing ideas that make it worse is going to help you. So why not pick a method, a strategy that's a bit more sustainable? And I recommend this lazy man's approach to this sort of thing. Just do what's easy, do what's fun, and don't care so much, and just simply focus on sticking to in a way you want it to be sort of, I do it today and then I'm done with it, you know? Not kind of like a job, but not really, because it's more fun, you know? But oh shit, I was supposed to use a different brush here. Let me just spend like a few more minutes. I don't want to make this an hour, but it's over. I'm pretty much past 30 minutes, so I already failed with the 30-minute mark aim thing, but it is what it is, you know? Let me try. I did like using this brush. So let's say if we have these sorts of strokes here, right? With the lasso fill tool, it doesn't mean we will stick to it. We can always blend it with like an actual brush, you know? Right? And we can paint on top of it. And we can make the lasso fill thing a part of the painting process. Look at that. It's a great way to add details and to add like a base as well, you know? Look at that. And you can clean things up, because I know when you use this lasso fill tool, it can get kind of messy. Your selections can get messy, so just paint on top of it, you know? Don't worry so much, because you can always like adjust. Again, it's kind of like the whole idea of this episode. Don't worry so much. And have fun. Look at how I'm having fun here. Right? Is it exact? No, but guess what? I stuck to drawing something today or painting something today. So it's basically a practice session of sorts. And guess what? If you're watching this video, it means the video is out. So I was able to be consistent in that regard as well. And it was easy for me to do that because I chose something that's easy. I record things raw. I do a subject that I actually like. I pick the brushes that I use. I use the lasso fill tool because it's fun to use and it's easy for me. And you know what I mean? So have this kind of mindset of just being more less concerned and more, maybe not, just don't take things too seriously. And I think that's what people say, or what people mean when they say have fun. Obviously, again, you can't not care about art because, you know, it's sort of an identity by now, but you want to make sure that it's just like chill, like easy. Like relax, bruh. Just spend time in your sketchbook, paint away, draw away, hit record if you're doing some videos on YouTube, right? Oh shit. Hey, look at how fleshed out that thing is, right? Now it doesn't make total sense, but it's good enough for me. Man, let me just fix the chest a bit. I don't even know where the chest is, but you know. Yeah, I'm going to skip the hand because it's kind of hard. Right? Look at that. Look at, oh shit. Look at, oh my god. Oh. But hopefully you got the point or the gist of this episode. Just have fun. And can this be a cover for my video? Who knows? Let me do the other side. Oh shit. Let me just change the angle of the brush here. Ooh. There you go. Yeah, that's ugly. But fuck it. The perspective is off. Make it shorter. There you go. Whoa, and the arm is kind of too thin. Whatever. There you go. Okay, let me just end the video because I think I'm spending too much time on this thing. Just a bit of fixing up here and there. There you go. Looks ugly, but hey. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you've learned something from this art podcast episode, and yeah, make sure it's easy. Let me just, oh shit. Let me make sure it's easy, make sure it's fun, make sure to not care so much. Avoid friction as much as possible. And yeah, if you want to make progress, just focus on building and maintaining momentum. And yeah, hopefully it helped you in some way. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.